Hello guys, so in this exercise, we're going to import an AutoCAD drawing into our Revit architecture project, and then we're going to trace the imported drawing to create a building model. Okay, so let's import a 2D drawing file. So to do that, I'll go to Insert, and then after that, I'm going to select Import. Okay, and then here's the file that I'm going to import. So M floor plan that DWG. Now, for the settings here below, so I'm going to use preserve color, and then for the positioning, since this is not properly placed in a coordinate or geolocated, so I'll just use here auto center to center. Okay, so I only want to see this floor plan in my current view, which is level 1. So that's why I'm going to check this one. Current view only, and then layers, levels, all, import units, auto detect. And then I'll just select here, open. All right, and then let's just wait. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is, so for me, every time I import or link a model in my Revit, I always pin that one so that it will not be moved accidentally. So I'm going to select my CAD drawing, and then after that, I'm going to select here pin. There you go. So it's now pinned. And then what I want to do is I do not want to move my pointer, and then after that, it highlights my CAD drawing. Okay, so that's why usually what I do is I go here, and then after that, I'm going to deselect this one. So I'm going to disable select pinned element. So I'm going to select that so that if I hover my pointer, as you can see, I cannot select accidentally my CAD drawing. Okay, so this is just a user preference. So if you do not want to do this, that's fine. But for me, I do not want to, every time I hover my pointer, it highlights the CAD drawing. So that's why after I pin that one, I also disable this one. Now, if I want to select it, then I just need to disable this or enable the select pinned elements, and then I can just select it and then unpin that one if I want to move it. Okay, but for now, I'm going to disable select pinned element so that it's not highlighting if I hover my pointer. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm now going to trace the drawing file. Okay, so this is how you do it. So if you have your CAD drawing, so just trace it. Okay, so to do that, from the architecture tab, okay, I'm going to select from the properties here. I'm going to select the wall tool. So let's click that one. And then from the type selector, I'm going to select exterior brick on metal stud. Okay, so let's click this one. Okay, so here on our options bar, okay, so the height here, so instead of unconnected, so I'm going to click the drop down arrow here, and then I'm going to select level 2. Okay, so meaning to say I want my wall to be created from level 1 to level 2. Okay, so that will gonna be the height of my wall. So from level 1 to level 2. And then for the location line, I'm gonna change this to finish face exterior. Okay. All right, so finish face exterior, and then since this is just a rectangular, so I'm going to select here rectangle. So let's click rectangle, and then I'm going to click top left, and then I'm going to select here bottom right. Click, and there you go. So I just created my wall there. And then after that, I'm going to select modify to finish drawing the exterior walls. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm gonna do is after I create my exterior wall, I'm now going to create my interior wall. Okay, so I'm going to select the 3D view here. Okay, so there's now my model. So I'm going to select level 1, and then I'm going to select here tile views, so I can see side by side my floor plan and then my 3D view. Okay, so I'm going to create now my interior wall. So from the architecture, I'm going to select again wall architecture. Okay, and then going to my properties, here, I'm going to select basic wall interior 135 millimeters, partition 2 hours. So I select that one. Okay, so now for this one, I'm gonna set my location line to wall center line to place the interior walls using the wall center lines in the import symbol. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to uncheck chain here to create a chain of independent wall segments. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck that one, and then here I'm going to select line tool. Okay, and let's do this. So I'm going to snap at the center. Okay, so just create a straight one. Okay, there you go. And then I'll create from here. All right. Okay, so here to here, here to here. There you go. And then I'll just select here. Oops, I missed this one. So click, modify. Okay. So there you go. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm now going to start place the doors and windows. But as you can see here, my walls now covers the outline for my windows. Okay, so that's why what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my CAD drawing this time. So I'm going to enable select pinned elements because my CAD file is pinned. So I'm going to select that. Okay, so it's now selected. And then here on my draw layer, I'm going to change the background. So instead of background, I'm going to change the foreground. So I select that and then apply. And then as you can see, I can now see the outline of my window. So I'm now ready to place my windows and then my doors. Okay, so let me place first my doors. So from the architecture, I select the door here, and then I'll just put first the single flash door. So I select that one, and then I move my pointer to my wall because your door tool is wall hosted family. So it's a hosted family. That's why, as you can see, if I move my pointer away, it disappears. But if I move my pointer to a wall, it's appearing. So it's now ready to be placed. I'm going to place it here. There you go. If you move your pointer to the wall, before you pick, you can also press space bar if you want to flip the door. Okay, like that. So now I'm going to put that on that wall. Okay, as you can see, you can still change. You can still flip it left and right, up and down. And then you can also specify here the distance if you want. So let's say 100. So there you go. Okay. Or you can also use align tool. So I can use the align tool. So let's click that one. So I want that wall to be aligned to this line here. So I select first the align and then my door. Okay, there you go. Then modify. Okay, so I'm just going to continue placing my door here. A single flash. So I just press space bar, zoom in. There you go. Okay, so here, place. I'll change my visual style here and then my detail level to fine on my 3D view and then shaded view here. Okay, then going back again to my floor plan. So I'm now going to place it here. There you go. There you go. Okay, and then this time I'm going to select the double glass door. All right, so where am I going to place here? There you go. And then, oops. And 2 more single flash door. There you go. Okay, so this time I'm now going to place the window. So I select the window tool. So for the window, the type of window I'm going to place here, how about I use 610? Okay, so that's fine. So I'm going to trace now my window. Okay, click. By the way, before you click or before you place your window, you can also enable the tag if you want. So if there's a tag loaded in your project, you can click tag on placement. And then after that, once I place my door or my window, so it will show me there my tag automatically. So you can also do that on your door tool. So you can also find that option on your door so that if you want to place the tag automatically, you just need to enable that. Okay, so if this is disabled like that, so it's disabled. So as you can see, there's no tag there, right? There you go. Okay, so for this one, let's say this is my toilet. Okay, I'm gonna select small one, okay? There you go, and there you go. Did I place one here? All right, there you go. Okay, so modify to terminate the tool. So this is now how it looks like in 3D view. Okay, so if you want to modify your window, for example, here on my toilet, so I can select this window here. As you can see, the height there is 1830, right? So I'm going to select modify here, edit type. So click edit type. And then after that, I only have 2 types of M-fix window here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select here duplicate. So let's click duplicate, and then I'm going to change the name here. So say I want 406 by 406. Okay, so just a square. So I'm gonna select OK here, and then I'm gonna change the height here to 406. Okay, and then after that, I'll just select here OK, and then as you can see, it's now changed. So I'm gonna select this window as well, and then change it to 406 by 406. And then while this one is still selected, I'm going to hold Control to select the other window. And then I can specify the sill height. Okay, so let's say I want that to be 2000. So I'm going to select apply, and it will now move up, right? Okay. Right, now here on my floor plan, so say for example, I want all the tags to be shown on my doors and windows. So I can do that by going to annotate, and then I can select here tag by category. So I can click this, and then after that, I can now click my windows here. So as you can see, by default, there's a leader line. So before I click, so I go to the placement, and then I'm going to disable leader line. Okay, so it's now disabled. So I can now place it here. Okay, so let's say I do not want to click one by one. Okay, because let's say I have thousands of windows. So I do not want to click 1000 times on each window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select modify here. So I go back to annotate and then look for tag all. Okay, so it says here tag all not tagged. It adds tags to multiple elements in one step. So I'm going to select this one, and then I want to tag my door and then my windows. Okay, so that's why I'm going to use these tags here. This M door tag and then M window tag. So I just need to select both. And then if I want to include the leader, I just need to check that one, but I do not want to include the leader. So I'll just select here OK to place the tags. There you go. See? So there's now my tags on my doors and windows. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna do, since I don't need my AutoCAD drawing anymore, so I'm going to open the visibility graphic overrides without selecting any elements, or make sure you select modify here to disable any selection. So from the properties, look for visibility graphics overrides. So just select edit here. Okay, and then look for imported categories. Just uncheck your CAD drawing. And there you go. Just select OK. There you go. All right. So I now have my traced model created. Okay. So hopefully you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.